Hello there and welcome to this third tier list video. Today I want to talk about the light novel I've read so far. The ranking is done on the enjoyment I have of each book, and I will try to make the video as quick as possible. So if you want to know more about a book, just let me know and I can make a full video about it. So let's start with 86. 86 is one of the most promising novels I've read this year. It's very solid setup with very interesting characters. The background is some remake of the World War II. It has a strong mecha, and we need more mecha. Um, it's just a bit young for now, so it's strong A tier. Maybe later, when a few more books will be out, it can easily grind to S tier. Next is Classroom of Elite. I love Classroom of Elite. It's one of my favorites. The the main character is one of the strong points of Classroom of Elite. I like the way he is um, winning or achieving his goal. It's different from what a normal main character have. So I like the way he's only one or two steps ahead of everyone, where everyone try to outsmart everyone. So it's really something, and it's make the the story from his point of view very interesting. Then we have Yari, and once again it's a strong S tier, like definitely one of my favorite too, but they are different. Classroom of Elite and Yari are totally different. We want to compare them since the main character is some kind of gloomy, smart guys, but the comparison stop here. In Yari, it's more about character growth, like uh, how they will grow um, from the beginning and through all the journey. They will experience different things, different interaction with different people, and everything will make them evolve. And that's really the point of Yari. So you can compare it to Classroom of Elite, to Monogatari, to Rascal. It's his own category and is very successful as what he is doing. So yeah, S tier, no complaint. Then we have Danmachi. Um, to be honest, Danmachi is a disappointment, but not because it's bad, just because maybe I'm too old. 10 years ago, if I start to read Danmachi back then, maybe I would put it S tier. But right now, I don't really mm, seek the same things like 10 years ago, and the kind of setup that Danmachi has doesn't appeal to me anymore. I have to force myself to go through the three first book, and I had to drop, so it's a D tier. Next we have Deathmatch. Deathmatch is very interesting because when the anime was out, it was like with a lot of isekai with the same setup out at the same time, and most of them were trash, to be honest. But I was in the kind of mindset where even if it was isekai trash, I was still going to watch it. It's like fast food, you know it's bad, but you're still going to eat it. It was okayish enough for me to convince me to buy the light novel. And when I started reading the light novel, I was really surprised because it gave me a different feeling from the anime. In the light novel, you really feel it's a dad traveling with his kid around the world, and him being OP is as important as him having a tea party with nobility or him thinking about the education of the youngest kid. So I think the anime doesn't really make justice to Deathmatch, but Deathmatch is still not perfect. It have some flaw, like if you're going through uh, one of the city they are stopping. If you don't really like the setup, you don't really like the local characters and what's going on, it can be a bit boring. So uh, over the 10 books I read so far, one was really boring, but the other are overall pretty solid. So it's a hey. Next we have defeating the Demon Lord is a clinch. So this one is not very well known, mostly because it doesn't have anime, but I feel like among light novel readers, it's still not really popular. The setup is interesting because it's an isekai, but the main character is a native from the isekai world, so it just sees isekai happening and is kicked out of the heroes party because the heroes only want female in the group. But still, he needs to help the hero, and that that's for the setup, and it's really okay. It's good, but the two major flaw for now is that the plot doesn't really advance, you know. So you can basically read any book in any order. It's not that a big deal. And I'm not really a big fan of this kind. I like it when the plot advances, you know. And the other issue I have with this book is that the sub character that is helping the main character is changing every book. So you start to like this character, say, oh, so yeah, I want to see more of this one. And boom, at the end of the book, it gets fired and the main character change. So I was hoping that this sub character was like being used later, but as far as I've read, it's changed every book. So yeah, I'm not really satisfied with this. So for now, it's be like, yeah, it's okay, but I really would like the plot advance and the sub characters coming back. It would be pretty solid. Next, Devil is a part-timer. So Devil is a part-timer has everything to be a good novel. It has good action, it has interesting characters, it was comedy, good one, uh, romance. Uh, yeah, it has everything that can make it a solid S tier. But I've heard that the author likes, not really like, but choose to drag the story on, and the quality went down, and the ending is not satisfying. This is important because even if the light novel is good, you know, at some point you will remember only the ending and the part where it start to get to be bad and leave you sour aftertaste. So it's it's really important how to know when you finish your story and not try to drag too long. I know it's not only the author choice, but at the end, what you will remember is that at some point it went downhill and the ending is not good. So I'm not at this point yet, but I feel a little for this one. So I would say it's A plus, like between A and B and S. But for now, I'll stick to A. And I would say by myself if what people say is true or if they are a bit overreacting. Next, we have Goblin Slayer. I like Goblin Slayer because it's one of the few dark fantasy out there and is making a really good job as building up tension. I really feel one character can die during a fight, and this is due to the fact that they have title, and we can imagine that, for example, Preteris is taking the Goblin Slayer title when Goblin Slayer uh, is killed or maybe is returned, I don't know. So yeah, I like the fact that there is some kind of tension when you're reading. So yeah, hey. Next we have Grimgar. I love Grimgar. I love Basically, I love all the kind of book that put strong character development, and Grimgar is very good at doing this. Each characters in Grimgar will grow and grow again and again, and you basically can see how they are growing, and it's for me very very interesting. The main character, but not only him, are really growing all together. You can argue that every time that they reach a new world, struggling again, but I think it's normal. Like if you're reaching a new world with different law, physical law or some magic restriction, of course you're going to struggle because your life is on the line. But what is important is that they are not struggling as hard or as mm, as much time as before. And this is due to experience. They can adapt faster in the new world because they have experience. So of course at the beginning they will struggle. Also, I really like the fight in Grimgar. When there is a fight, I'm really into it. I don't really know why, but when when uh, when I'm reading Grimgar, I'm really into the fights. So Grimgar S tier. Konosuba S tier 2. Do I really need to explain why Konosuba is S tier? No. Um, Maoka. I love and hate Maoka. I love Maoka because how the magic system is working. I find it super interesting. I love everything that cross technology and magic together. But it's also boring at some point. Like there is a few books I just wanted to finish as fast as I could because I was just bored. And it's not only happened once, it's happened a few times. So okay, there is some parts that are interesting, but um, uh, it's pretty average actually overall. So that's why it's going to be a B tier. For me, Tatsuya being OP is not an issue because for in order to win, Tatsuya can't really overpower everyone. His winning condition is not to stomp everyone. So that's why him being overpowered is not really relevant. It just makes things easy. So, but it's not really relevant for the story. Um, Next we have Maya. Maya is one of the few light novel I've completed this far, and it's one of the most mind-blowing light novel I've read. It was top rank on my anime list for a long time, and I really think it deserves it. I can't really talk a lot about Maria because it's very heavy spoiler, but I really recommend Maria to anyone that wants to read more light novel. It's not really for beginners because it's a bit heavy, not very heavy, but since it's a mindfuck kind of stuff, you can be lost at the beginning. But if you really read a few light novel, Maria is definitely S tier, top tier, masterpiece, anything you want. But you must read Maria and have um, a try. Give it a try. Next, we have the Mom Isekai. Mom Isekai is like good and bad at the same time. um, I really feel it has potential as a parody. Most likely because Masato and the other teenage girl really feel like I'm reading a Konosubarashi like. So I really like how their build up and their interaction to each other, really funny. But the mom come into it and drag everything down. What I don't like about the mom is not about the fan service. So yeah, the fan service is awkward and all, but that's not the main issue I have. The issue I have with the mom is that she's acting like an idiot. She's acting like a kid, like she's an idiot. She can do anything by herself when she's supposed to be the adult here. I really want to see her stand up as an adult, see the kid struggling in some kind of situation that they can't solve because they are not mature yet, and then the mom coming, dropped the act of the stupid young mom and really act as an adult. That's really why, really, if he had this, Mommy Sekai could be like A or S tier, but just because the mom, that is the main character, is not acting or it's acting too much like a stupid kid, it's drag everything down. I only read 3 books for now, and I still have hope that later on this issue will be addressed. So for now, it's not a drop; it's a C. I will try to give it one more try later when I have some times. But for now, I can't make more than C. Next, it is Monogatari, and I'm just a fucking fanboy, so Monogatari is S tier. Overlord. Overlord is very good at world building. Like, it's amazing. It's really an amazing work of world building, and you have a few. Sometimes you have one book that is dedicated to develop one country or one group of people that is not the main focus. And to me, it's actually one of this flow. Sometimes I'm reading Overlord light novel and I really want to see more about Heinz, about Nazarick, and about the world plot, but you will spend like 70% of the light novel uh, about something else. And I just want to see Heinz. Just want to see a bit more of Nazarick. So it's A. Next is Rozero. Rozero is my favorite novel. It has an amazing story, very complex plot, um, well used time travel mechanism, and a complex character development. The best example is Emilia and Subaru. They are both the first character that are introduced in the novel, and they are the character that have the latest character development. If you take Subaru's character development, for example, it have a big change during this famous REM dialogue, and another one when he's confronting his past and he stopped to pretend. Those are important part of Subaru construction and also have an important deconstruction phase through the suffering. Emilia is the same. She has an incredible character development later on in the novel, so if you are back to the way you were back then, most of the people supporting Emilia were light novel reader. I can't wait to read more of ReZero, seriously. It's really my favorite. So top S tier and top 1. Hokan no Yusha could be top tier novel also, but we're not sure if the novel is cancelled or not because it's been 6 or 7 years without any news. So people start to losing hope. It's a bit like the Miyahari, but for Rokan no Yusha, we really start to losing hope because it's not as famous as the Miyahari, so you don't really know if the author will continue or not. And at this point, the hope is very low. It's very too bad because this is an amazing novel, and I don't really understand why it's been stopped halfway. My sister is all you need is D. I had to drop my sister is all you need because first I'm salty because of the ship. The ship I expect uh, won't sail, so I'm salty, super salty. And also, when they are playing games together, it's a bit boring. In the anime, it's going through very well because maybe you have the illustration that's entertain, but in the novel, it's just like a few pages where they're explaining the rules and they're going to play. Sometimes it's not very interesting, and the whole thing is totally boring. So this and my ship drawing, I had to drop Sister is All You Need. Slime, on the other hand, is very solid isekai, but is one of his good point is also what's prevent him to be S tier. In Slime, you have a lot of interesting secondary characters, but at some point you have too much of them, which means for a specific character or group of character you enjoy, you won't see them that much in a book. Sometimes they just one will have a line just for you to remember they exist, but they don't have any major impact in the story. That's a bit like I don't really like it when the main character can handle everything by himself. I want to see him surrounded by useful, supportive characters. Right now, the difference between them and Rimuru is so high that they just come, get beaten up, and then wait for Rimuru to solve the issue. It's really too bad because we are so close of greatness, you know. Spice and Wolf. Spice and Wolf is the second novel I finished so far, and I started to learn about Spice and Wolf with the manga. I didn't really read the anime, but I've heard that the manga and the anime are close. When I say close, it's because in the light novel it's totally different. In the first book, I maybe two or three, maybe four actually, always a bitch. Like you really can't stand her anymore. Lawrence can't stand her anymore. I just want to get rid of her as soon as possible. So if you didn't, if you only watch the anime or watch read the manga, you can't really imagine. But in the novel, it's really like this. You can stand how childish she can be, how just bitchy she can bitch to Lawrence, and on the other hand, Lawrence at some point will be super stupid too. And it's like they have their own phase, but that's what makes their relationship so good because they are starting from bottom and they are building everything step by step, which make their relationship and their romance even more amazing. Space and Wolf is S tier, like no real contest about this. It's managed to be solid, long enough to put everything they have to put without being boring, and not too short so to have enough time to build the character between Lawrence and Oro. And this is what is amazing because mainly it's just both of them interacting through the journey. Sometimes you have a sub character that is helping, adding some dynamic between them, but the whole 17 books just resolve around them, and the, it's doing just such a good job just with this.